welcome to Behind the Story, where we discover the story behind your favourite stories. My name is Lisa Renee. I am a contemporary romance author and from the Collab Press. And Naomi Craig, my co-host, has done the interview today with Kim Vogel Sawyer. There's also a paperback giveaway from our guest, so stay tuned for that and how to enter. Quick update from me. I'm working on a Kickstarter, which is in June, and that is for Between Two Shores. So it's a special edition hardback with special chapter pages, a little bit fancy, from a older story that I've revamped and re-releasing, set in Australia and in America. So, and it's got American and Australian characters. Hence, I am from Australia, so I like to put a bit of an Australian spin on some of my stories. So I'll have the link in the show notes where you can follow the campaign and keep up to date when that launches, because there's some special bonuses for those who support the Kickstarter, and they also get advanced copy, and there's editions which aren't available on Amazon or anywhere else. Okay, we'll get on to the interview section, so I'll take it away, Naomi.
Our guest today is Kim Vogel Sawyer, award-winning best-selling author. Kim told her kindergarten teacher that someday people would check out her book in the library. The little girl dream came true in 2006 with the release of Waiting for Summer's Return. Kim's titles now exceed 1.5 million copies and are available in 6 different languages. She's also a good friend to our show. Kim, welcome back to Behind the Story.
Thanks so much. It's good to be back.
Always a pleasure to chat with you. So for those who aren't familiar and haven't seen your previous episodes, tell us a little bit about you and what you write.
Well, my roles are wife to a retired master sergeant from the Air Force. I'm mom to 3 amazing daughters, grandma to 10 of the coolest kids who ever walked the planet. I love cats, coffee, chocolate, children, not necessarily in that order. And I write predominantly historical Christian fiction, but I do have several women's fictions, contemporary titles, some featuring Old Order Mennonite characters, and one young adult series in circulation.
Wonderful. Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you back. Your latest book, The Songbird of Hope Hill, Birdie Clarkson only recently started working at a house of ill repute at the edge of Tulsa, Texas. When Reverend Isaiah Overly and his son Ephraim arrive, offering a safe haven and a better life for any of the women who want to leave, Birdie takes a chance. Ignoring the madam's furious raging, she climbs into the back of the preacher's wagon, and that's where we start our story. So what is the story behind the Songbird of Hope Hill?
Well, I had a wonderful writing friend for many, many years. She passed away about 3 years ago now. But probably 6 or 7 years ago, she sent me an article she had clipped from an historical magazine about Reverend J.T. Upchurch from Waco, Texas, who had started a home for women that he rescued out of prostitution, and then also opened his door to any women that were pregnant out of wedlock, because they were ostracized by society as well. He and his wife ministered to them, taught them skills so that they could find more reputable work. And the place that they lived became known as Rescue Hill. Obviously, I changed that a little bit when I wrote the story. The thing that stood out to me is that Reverend Upchurch would do revivals. He would go out and do revivals, and he would take these women with him, and they would sing for the congregations, which I thought, that was a really brave thing to do.
Right.
I just thought it was really cool. And when my friend sent me this article, I still have the sticky note somewhere. She included a note: tell this story so people will see there are no lost causes in heaven's eyes.
I love
And,
it.
it took a long time to get a publisher to, approve the storyline, because it's not the prettiest subject matter in the world. But I'm just so happy that the book was written, that it's out there now. And I hope I did my friend proud.
Yeah, and it's well, you mentioned it's not the prettiest, but it's been touted as a redeeming love for a new generation. So yeah, that's pretty rough subject matter.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
you can't just one and done. Hey, we rescued you from this brothel, so you're perfectly fine now. But like it's an ongoing journey, I'm
Yes,
sure.
very
So
much so. Yeah.
I'm sure Birdie has to struggle through that
Mhm.
for a while. Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
so tell us a little bit about Birdie. What are her strengths and her quirks?
Well, Birdie is an extremely kind-hearted person. She wants to help and reach out to other people, but she's also insecure. She's lonely. Her father passed away. She was very close to him, but he died, and her mother basically rejected her and abandoned her, which is how she ended up where she did. Birdie also has a little bit of a stubborn bent. You know, that can benefit us when we turn that into determination, but it takes a little while to get her to that place. One of her quirks that I gave her, which the hero of the story notices early on, is she's developed this habit of just kind of turning her face away, very sharply away, almost to the point where her chin touches her shoulder, to avoid eye contact. It's her way of escaping reality. I think of it kind of as a turtle ducking into its shell when it feels threatened.
Right.
Birdie just kind of ducks in to herself at those times. And as the story progresses, to see her doing that less frequently, to gaining in confidence, to being able to meet somebody's eyes when she's speaking to them, it's a way of showing her healing. And so it was kind of a fun little quirk to work with.
Yeah, I feel like in situations like that, it's natural to have something that you can control. Like if you don't have any control over any aspect of your life, I'm going to control whether I look you in the eye or not. Like it seems like that seems logical and natural to me.
It just seemed like a very human thing for her to
Yeah,
do.
very human. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So on Goodreads, Devoted to Hope says, forget the limitations of a 5-star rating system. Kim Vogel Sawyer's The Song of Hope Hill deserves a standing ovation. It is a story that transcends genre, a testament to the enduring power of faith. It lifts you like a soaring hymn, carrying you on a journey of redemption where faith is the melody and forgiveness the harmony. I love that. How big of a part does music have in Songbird of Hope Hill?
Well, first of all, that reviewer is an incredible writer herself.
Yeah, I
That
know.
was just an incredible, very
It was
humbling
beautiful.
review.
Yeah.
It was beautifully done. Well, the girls sing in a choir, so I had to include music. I mean, that was just going to be a natural part of the story. But I upped the involvement by giving the shelter's operators a son with a gift for piano playing. He did and attend college. He earned a degree to teach music that he uses his abilities to assist his parents in their ministry by working with the girls.
Wow.
um, I really enjoyed in this story incorporating hymns. A few of them that I used were Lead On, O King Eternal, Amazing Grace, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. And it's interesting to me when I did the research on it because I wanted to make sure could these hymns actually be sung in 1895.
Oh,
Some of
yeah.
them were quite new at that time. We think of hymns as being so
Like so
old,
old. Yeah.
but at the time that these people were singing them, this was new music. And so that was really fun. But the words of these hymns, just like they wove themselves into the story fabric,
Wow.
they were so many of them just fit and ministered to the characters. So, of course, I love singing hymns anyway. It's part of my Mennonite heritage. So, whenever I can plug a few in,
Yeah.
it's fun for me. But I don't plug them in just to be plugging them in. They have to fit the story, and these
Right.
really, yeah.
And I find music so, it just can get to whatever mood you're in. There's whether it's strictly Christian music or adding in other genres, like there's just something about music that just connects with the inner being, I think.
Mhm. Well, and there's something about singing with other people. When
Yes.
we join our voices together, when we come together especially in worship songs, I think that is powerful as well. It makes you feel as if you're a part of something bigger than
Right.
yourself. And particularly for, I think it was, the original, the real Reverend Upchurch was so wise, I think, to have these girls sing together because they were making something beautiful together, but they were working together as well and finding camaraderie in something beautiful rather than being in something tangled, something in something that's not pretty. Does that make any
Right.
sense at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Now we're banding together for this cause of music as
And
opposed to
also,
survival.
singing to congregations that where
Yeah,
they could see those women are doing something beautiful
yeah.
together. I just think it was a really smart thing for him to do on several levels.
So does this pretty much parallel Reverend Upchurch's true story, or do you just use that as the bare bones and then
Basically, it was the foundation.
okay.
Much of what took place in my story is fictional, of course. They didn't have a son, to my knowledge. I gave them a son. Um, I have no idea why they went into rescuing women, but my couple in the story had a very specific reason for doing so. So, it was basically taking that little seed and then planting it and seeing how I could make it grow in my imagination.
And
My
I love
imagination
that.
is really good at that.
Yeah. I love that too because I'm guessing uh the other congregation members might have had a hard time accepting these ladies of ill repute, so
Yeah.
maybe I mean I don't know, maybe your people in, in your story were nicer, but
Well,
it
some of
seems like
them, not all of them.
yeah, if you can
Similar
catch the
people.
vision, but
Yeah.
it then to have these girls up there singing praises to the Lord, I would hope would cross that bridge faster to accepting them
Yeah.
and seeing that the Lord can change and there's no un too lost of a person. I don't remember how you said it so well, but I would hope that the music would help bridge that
Mhm.
faster for those grumblers.
I would hope so too.
Well, do you sing in a choir or anything, or is there any?
Well, we used to. We don't have a choir at our church any longer. We have a praise team, which I did sing in until my mother passed away. And then, of course, we had that lovely 2-year period where we weren't really getting together.
Yeah,
And that changed how a lot of things are done too. I love to sing. It's very much part of my family history. Every person in my family is musical. Music is an important part of my life, so it is really fun when I can incorporate it into a story. And it
yeah,
worked
absolutely.
with this one. It had to be there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching, comment below. Tell us a piece of music or a song that's really touched your life. We'd love to see how music has been a part of what you are, who you are today, and we'd love to see that. So comment below. Let us know what music is instrumental to your life. So, did you have any struggles while you were writing Songbird?
Well, prostitution isn't exactly a comfortable topic. Uh, so it was a challenge to me to write
Yeah,
the emotional effects without wallowing in the darker side of it. I like to write gentle stories of hope. Well,
right.
nothing
This
real
isn't
gentle or
gentle.
hopeful about it.
Yeah,
So that was definitely a challenge to write the story in a way that my readers wouldn't be turned off by it. But I also wanted to do what my friend instructed me. I wanted to show there is no one irredeemable in God's eyes, not the women who sell themselves, not the men that purchase them. But you don't
right.
want to come off like a lecturer on, like you're lecturing on societal wrongs, um, and trying to push a point. I wanted it to be a story. So that was probably my biggest challenge was because I feel very strongly about ending that industry, but I
Yeah.
wanted the story to come from the characters, not author intrusion, if that makes any kind of sense at
Yeah,
all.
it's not your soapbox. It's
Right.
something that people can sit in for hours and not be like, ugh, what is this? This I can't do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I had I mean, it's different context, but with my novel, Rahab's Courage, we all know Rahab in the Bible was a harlot. We all know she was in Jesus's line, but what happens in between that? So we had to explore some of that too. But and then like if you look across just before Joshua, there across the Jordan, the Israelites get themselves in trouble with the ladies of Moab, and like 24,000 of them die because of this. Like, why would the Israelites who have just seen that be willing to accept a prostitute into their numbers? You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it's unfortunately not a one and done. It's yes, she has to be saved. She needs to have a hero, but she needs to be saved from something. And it's not
Mhm.
just a pretty package, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I love that you're shedding light on that. That's super important. And I agree with you. It needs to end. It needs to end. Um,
Mhm.
but good. All right, let's see here. What would you want people to come away with after reading The Songbird of Hope Hill?
Well, I want what my friend wanted. I want them to know God forgives, redeems, restores. It doesn't matter how far we're fallen. He can
Right.
always bring us back. And really, I do want them to contemplate the wrongness of purchasing another human for someone's pleasure. It's such a violation of the sanctity of life. And yeah, it's been around since biblical times.
Right.
But I think it's time to end the sex trade
Yeah.
industry. There's just too many souls that are being destroyed by it. And I think if you can put a face to it, I think it gets people more involved, more compassionate.
Yes.
I think we can tend to think, well, this is something that they're doing to themselves. That's not always the case.
No.
So I think we need to open up our hearts and reach out and do more rescuing than criticizing and condemning.
Right. We need to first hear their side
Hmm.
and 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 love them there. Jesus didn't say you need to be perfect before you come to me. It's
Oh,
come to
thank
me and
goodness.
I'll be perfect for you, and I will restore, and I will renew you, make you a new person. So well, that sounds fantastic. But not only do you have a new novel out, you also have something exciting in the works. So tell us what's going on with My Heart Remembers.
Oh, this is just so exciting to me. The contract to take My Heart Remembers and make it into a movie was signed over 5 years ago. So this isn't something that just happened overnight. This has been a slow crawl. I've read the screenplay. The writer did an absolutely fabulous job of capturing the story. There are times I've gone and watched a movie based on a book, and I thought, well, where was the book in there?
Yeah.
If readers have read My Heart Remembers and they go to the movie, they are going to see the book played out on the screen. I mean, it is just incredibly well done. I'm so
Wow.
impressed with the way
What's the
it.
basic premise of My Heart Remembers?
Well, My Heart Remembers is an orphan train story. It's three children that were separated after their
Okay.
parents are killed in a fire, and the oldest sibling wants to reunite, find her brother and sister again. And so it's the story of how God brings their three separate lives back into one area so that they can
Oh,
reconnect. It was my mom's favorite of all of my books. It was my most celebrated book. It was entered in 4 contests. It won all 4 of them.
wow.
And if you talk to readers that have read several of my books, most of them will say My Heart Remembers is their favorite. So if you had lined up all my books and said you can only have one made into a movie, which one would it be? I
This
would
is the
have
one.
chosen My Heart Remembers. So it really is special to me to see that happen.
Oh, I love it. So is there I think it was last I looked online, it was crowdfunded. It's in
Yeah,
progress, but do you
they're
have a
going to go.
deadline
They're going into
or
production in July.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Well, that's
they're
exciting. So
they're casting right now. So
do you have any influence on the cast, or is that kind of out of your hands?
yeah, I have very little influence there. Although I do have complete faith in the production company. I mean, they love the story. They want to see it told the way I told it. And so I trust them implicitly on that. I did recommend a family member for one of the roles, and he submitted an audition tape. He's being considered. So we'll see how that comes out. But
Oh,
that would be really cool to have a family member play one of the characters in the movie.
oh, that's so exciting. So obviously production this year, is that next year being out, or is that what's the coming out?
This coming July, and I think it'll be like a year before
Okay.
the movie would be available. Yeah,
How exciting. Well, congratulations.
thank
We'll
you.
definitely have to be looking for that, and following you and getting all the information on that. So, tell me your best knock knock joke.
Okay. Now this one is compliments of my brother, so you won't find this anywhere in a book. Okay, this is what I mean. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hike.
Haiku.
Unsuspecting you, I, waiting with bated breath, sets the perfect trap.
Oh, well done. Well done.
Been a haiku on you.
Haiku. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's very clever. So where can readers find you online and hear more about My Heart Remembers and about your books?
Well, I probably am most active on Facebook, so you can follow me there. Kim Vogel Sawyer, author/speaker. Long old name on that. Or go to my website, kimvogelsawyer.com. If you want
Okay.
book information, speaking information, that's where it will be located.
And what's your next book plan? You already have it submitted, waiting for edits. What's the
Uh,
next
The
book
next one
about?
is set in Colorado in the early 1900s. I have a young woman who is the line walker for the wooden pipeline that carries water from the Arkansas River into Canyon City, Colorado. And her path intersects with a college student who has come to the area in hopes of finding dinosaur bones. Um, I know when I finished this one, my writing friend said, "This is different than anything you've ever done before." My
Well,
editor
that's
said the
exciting.
same thing. So, but you don't want to write the same story over and over and over again. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we have one young man, or one character who is trying to earn his father's approval, and we have a character who is trying to please a father that she absolutely adores, who is badly injured, and it's affected him mentally as well, and she wants his restoration. So two different kind of conflicting relationships with fathers going on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different story, but I really liked it. I don't think the title is official yet. They're still toying with that, but I think it's going to be called Hope's Enduring Echo.
Okay. And tell me the time frame again.
Early 1900s in
Very
Canyon
cool.
City, Colorado. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, be sure to follow Kim online, Kim Vogel Sawyer, so you can be abreast of all the exciting books that she's got coming up. Thank you so much, Kim, for coming back on Behind the Story.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I really enjoy visiting with you.
Remember to connect with Kim and her books. She is offering a paperback of the Songbird of Hope Hill. The King Sumo link will be in the show notes below. It is for U.S. addresses only. I do apologize. We love our international readers, but shipping is ridiculous. But thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Behind the Story. Until next time, let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. See you next time.